In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where stars whispered secrets to one another and nebulae painted the void with ethereal hues, humanity had only recently stepped beyond the confines of their solar system. The year was 2147, and the United Earth Federation's exploratory vessel, the Odyssey, cruised through the uncharted sectors of the Orion arm. Captain Elena Vasquez, a seasoned astronaut from the bustling megacities of Earth, led a crew of scientists, engineers, and adventurers eager to uncover the mysteries of the cosmos. Elena was no stranger to the perils of space. Born in the arid plains of New Mexico, she had grown up under a sky so clear it seemed like a portal to infinity. Her childhood dreams of touching the stars had propelled her through rigorous training at the Federation's Lunar Academy, where she excelled in xenobiology and survival tactics. Now, at 42, with streaks of silver in her dark hair and a scar across her cheek from a rogue asteroid encounter, she embodied the unyielding spirit of humanity. The Odyssey had been scanning a Class M planet designated XR 47 for signs of life when the anomaly appeared. A distress signal, faint and erratic, pierced the ship's comms array. It wasn't human, far from it. The signal carried harmonics that defied Earth's linguistic databases, pulsing with an urgency that transcended language. "Captain, it's coming from the planet's surface," reported Lieutenant Kira Novak, the communications officer, her fingers dancing over holographic controls. Biosigns indicate a small life form, possibly injured. No adult signatures nearby. Elena's brow furrowed. "Any hostiles?" "Negative, ma'am. But the atmosphere is breathable, gravity at 0.9 g. We could send a shuttle." The decision weighed on her. Protocol dictated observation first, intervention only if necessary. But Elena had always believed in the human capacity for compassion, a trait that had saved her own life more than once during the solar wars. "Prep Shuttle Alpha. I'm going down myself." The descent was turbulent, buffeted by ion storms that crackled like fireworks against the shuttle's shields. Elena piloted with steady hands, her co-pilot, Ensign Raj Patel, monitoring vitals. They landed in a lush valley, surrounded by towering bioluminescent trees that glowed with an inner light, casting the landscape in shades of violet and indigo. The air was crisp, laced with the scent of alien flora, sweet and metallic. Elena stepped out, her enviro suit humming softly as it adjusted to the environment. The distress beacon led her through underbrush that parted like living curtains, revealing a small clearing. There, huddled against a fallen log, was the source, a cub, no larger than a terrestrial dog. Its fur was a shimmering, iridescent blue, with 6 limbs ending in delicate claws. Large, multifaceted eyes blinked weakly at her approach, and a soft whine escaped its maw, revealing rows of tiny, pearl-like teeth. Blood, green and viscous, seeped from a gash on its side, likely from a predator's attack. Elena's heart clenched. She had seen orphaned animals on Earth, victims of habitat loss or poaching, but this was different. This was an extraterrestrial being, potentially the first intelligent life humanity had encountered. Yet, in that moment, it was just a scared, hurt child. Kneeling slowly, she activated her medkit scanner. "Easy there, little one," she murmured, her voice calm despite the adrenaline. The scan revealed internal bleeding, fractured bones, and signs of dehydration. Without intervention, it wouldn't last the night. Back on the shuttle, Raj watched via helmet cam. "Captain, we don't know its physiology. This could be risky." "I know," Elena replied. "But leaving it to die? That's not who we are." Drawing on her xenobiology knowledge, she improvised. Using a universal sealant from the kit, she cleaned the wound with antiseptic foam, then applied a nanopatch that adapted to foreign tissues. The cub whimpered but didn't resist, its eyes locking onto hers with what seemed like gratitude. As she worked, the cub's breathing stabilized. Elena offered a nutrient gel from her rations, which it lapped up tentatively. Hours passed as she sat vigil, monitoring its recovery. By dawn, the cub was on its feet, nuzzling her hand with a purr that vibrated through her suit. Unbeknownst to Elena, this act of kindness had been observed. High in orbit, cloaked vessels from the Zenthari Empire monitored the planet, a nursery world for their young. The cub was no ordinary animal. It was the offspring of Empress Valara, heir to the throne of Zenthara Prime. The Zenthari were a proud, ancient race, evolved from predatory pack hunters. Their society valued strength and loyalty above all, with a rigid hierarchy enforced by telepathic bonds. To them, humans were primitives, barely spacefaring. But this human had saved their future leader. As the Odyssey prepared to depart, a massive Zenthari cruiser decloaked, its hull gleaming like polished obsidian. Hails flooded the comms. "Human vessel, you have our gratitude." The one called Elena Vasquez, "Come aboard." Elena's crew tensed, but she sensed no hostility. "Stand down," she ordered. This could be first contact. Beamed aboard the alien ship, Elena found herself in a grand hall, surrounded by towering Zenthari, bipedal felines with fur in hues of blue and gold, adorned in crystalline armor. At the center stood Empress Valara, her cub now safe in her arms, purring contentedly. "You saved my child," Valara intoned, her voice a melodic growl translated via neural implant. "In our culture, such a debt demands honor. You are now kin-bonded to Zenthara." Elena blinked. "I just did what anyone would do." Valara's eyes gleamed. "Not anyone. Only a warrior of heart. Come, human, see what your act has wrought." Thus began Elena's journey, from savior to legend. The bond and the journey. The Zenthari cruiser, named Aether's Claw, was a marvel of organic engineering. Its corridors pulsed with bioluminescent veins, and the air hummed with the collective thoughts of its crew, a subtle telepathic field that Elena felt as a gentle pressure on her mind. The Empress explained that the kin bond was more than symbolic. It was a psychic link, forged through the cub's gratitude. Elena could now sense faint emotions from the Zenthari, a bridge between species. As they warped toward Zenthara Prime, Elena learned of the Empire's history. The Zenthari had risen from tribal packs on their harsh homeworld, where survival meant cunning alliances and fierce protection of the young. Cubs were raised communally, but royal offspring like Little Kale, as Elena named him, much to Valara's amusement, were destined for greatness. Kale's abduction by poachers, rival aliens seeking to destabilize the Empire, had nearly sparked interstellar war. "Your intervention averted catastrophe," Valara said, as they dined on synthesized Earth cuisine in the royal quarters. Kale played at Elena's feet, batting at her boot laces with playful claws. "The poachers fled when they detected your vessel, leaving him to fate. But fate brought you." Elena sipped a nutrient tea, its flavor reminiscent of chamomile with a spicy kick. "I'm glad he's safe. But what now? My crew awaits my return." Valara inclined her head. "You will return, but first, honor demands a ceremony on our homeworld. The Council of Packs must witness the human who embodies our virtues." The journey took weeks, even at warp speeds. Elena spent the time exchanging knowledge. She taught the Zenthari about human history, the triumphs of exploration, the follies of war, the resilience in adversity. In return, they shared advanced tech, quantum entanglement comms, regenerative medicine that could heal scars like hers in days. One evening, as stars streaked by the viewport, Kale curled in Elena's lap, his purring syncing with her heartbeat. Through the bond, she felt his innocence, his budding curiosity. "He's like a kitten," she laughed. Valara smiled, a rare softening of her regal features. "And you, like a mother lioness. Humans are unexpected. Our scouts dismissed you as fragile bipeds. Yet you thrive in Void's embrace." Elena reflected on that. Humanity's strength wasn't in claws or fur. It was in adaptability, in the refusal to yield. Stories of Shackleton's Antarctic survival, of Apollo 13's ingenuity, flooded her mind. "We endure," she said simply. Arrival at Zenthara Prime was breathtaking. The planet was a jewel of sapphire oceans and emerald continents, dotted with spire cities that spiraled into the clouds. Billions of Zenthari inhabited it, their society a blend of tradition and tech, pack hunts in virtual arenas, councils debating via mind links. Word of Elena's deed had spread like wildfire through the telepathic net. As the Aether's Claw docked, crowds gathered, their fur rippling in waves of color to express awe. Holographic banners proclaimed, "The human savior, kin to all packs." The ceremony took place in the Grand Arena, a colossal amphitheater carved from living crystal. Elena stood at the center, clad in a hybrid uniform, her Federation jumpsuit augmented with Zenthari armor plates that shimmered like Kale's fur. Empress Valara addressed the assembly, This human, Elena of Earth, saved our heir from death's jaws. By our laws, she is pack eternal. Let all worlds know, harm to her is harm to us. Cheers erupted, a symphony of roars and mind echoes. Kale bounded to her side, nuzzling her leg. Through the bond, Elena felt the collective gratitude, a warm tide washing over her doubts. But not all were pleased. In the shadows of the council, Elder Thorn, a grizzled veteran with scarred ears, whispered dissent. A primitive, honored as kin, this weakens us. His faction, the Purity Pack, viewed outsiders as threats. They plotted subtly, testing Elena's worth. That night, as Elena rested in guest quarters overlooking a bioluminescent sea, an alarm blared. Assassins, hired by Thorn's allies, slipped in, their claws poisoned. Elena's human instincts kicked in. No telepathy, but years of training. She dodged the first strike, grabbing a ceremonial dagger from the wall. The fight was brutal. Claws raked her arm, but she countered with precise jabs, using the room's furniture as barriers. Kale, sensing danger through the bond, alerted Valara. Guards arrived, subduing the attackers. You fought like a Zenthari, Valara praised, tending Elena's wounds. Elena grinned through the pain. Humans don't go down easy. The incident solidified her status. Thorn was exiled, his plot exposed. Elena's bravery echoed across the Empire, inspiring tales of the fearless warrior. As this part closed, Elena prepared for deeper integration. The Homeworld rose not just in honor, but in alliance. Trials and alliances. With the assassination attempt thwarted, Elena's legend grew. Zenthara Prime buzzed with her story. Holovids replayed her fight. Poets composed epics in her name. The kin bond deepened. She could now share thoughts with Kale, glimpses of his playful mind brightening her days. But honor came with responsibility. The council summoned her for the trials of kinship, ancient rites to prove a bond's strength. Only through challenge do we forge true pacts, Valara explained. The first trial, the hunt. In the wilds of Zenthara's untamed forests, Elena had to track and capture a shadow beast, an elusive predator with camouflage fur. Armed only with a stun lance, she ventured alone, Kale's encouragement echoing in her mind. Brave human, like mother. The forest was alive, vines whispering, creatures eyeing her curiously. Elena drew on Earth skills, tracking from Navajo elders, survival from Federation boot camp. She spotted faint prints, followed scents carried on the wind. The shadow beast ambushed, its form shifting like smoke. Claws grazed her shoulder, but she rolled, thrusting the lance. A zap, and it fell stunned. Returning with the beast, the council nodded approval. She hunts with heart and cunning. Second trial, the mind weave. In a chamber of glowing crystals, Elena linked minds with a pack of elders. She had to navigate their collective memories, resolving a simulated crisis, a planetary famine from ancient times. Human innovation shone. Drawing from Earth's history, the Green Revolution, hydroponics, she proposed solutions, gene-edited crops, orbital farms. The elders marveled. Your world has faced voids we know not. Third trial, the Void Leap. Strapped into a pod, Elena was launched into space, tasked with repairing a derelict satellite while evading simulated debris. Her astronaut expertise made it child's play. She danced through the vacuum like a fish in water, patching circuits with steady hands. Passing all, Elena was granted full citizenship. But greater challenges loomed. Scouts reported the poacher's return, a syndicate from the rival Draken Empire, reptilian conquerors seeking Zenthari tech. Valara confided. They target our nursery worlds. Your act saved Kale, but war brews. Elena volunteered her knowledge. Humans have fought empires before. Let's ally with the Federation. Negotiations began. Elena bridged cultures, explaining human diplomacy to Zenthari, Zenthari honor to Earth ambassadors via quantum comms. A joint fleet formed. Elena, aboard the Odyssey now fused with Zenthari upgrades, led a strike on a Draken outpost. The battle was fierce. Draken ships, scaled and armored, spat plasma bolts. Elena's tactics, guerrilla ambushes inspired by Vietnam War strategies, turned the tide. A daring boarding party, with Elena and Kale, now adolescent, fierce in battle, captured the Draken leader. Victory cemented the alliance. Zenthara Prime celebrated with festivals, statues of Elena erected in every city, a human among felines, symbol of unity. Through it all, Elena reflected on humanity's place. Not conquerors, but connectors. Her simple act rippled into galactic change, legacy, and eternity. Years passed. The Human Zenthari Alliance flourished, exploring new frontiers, sharing tech that ended hunger on Earth and bolstered Zenthari defenses. Elena, now Admiral Vasquez, split time between worlds, Kale her constant companion, a full-grown warrior, his bond with her unbreakable. On Zenthara Prime, the Homeworld rose in her honor. The Elena Spire, a towering monument, housed museums of human artifacts. Annual festivals reenacted the saving, with cubs playing her role. But Elena's greatest legacy was personal. She mentored young Zenthari, teaching empathy beyond pacts. Kale ascended as emperor, his reign marked by peace, inspired by his human mother. In her twilight years, Elena returned to Earth, but the bond called her back. On her deathbed, surrounded by pacts, she whispered to Kale, "Keep enduring." Her passing mourned galaxy-wide. Zenthara declared eternal kinship with humanity. Statues on every world bore her likeness, inscribed. One act of kindness, a universe changed. Humanity, fuck yeah, for in saving one, she saved all.